decided to do color tutorial because my friend was needing some help, and I was like, yeah, I might as well just make it this because I do not want to type out 5-paragraph essay about what and not to do with colors. So I hope this isn't too long. Whatever I record is what I record because my editing software isn't the best. And this is just this is the Mac I recorded on. But okay, so let's get started. Apologize for any background noise. That's just my chair, whatever. Anyway, so we all know what color is. It's what you see. It's color. And okay, digital artwork, digital software has a lot of opportunities for good, unique colors because you can pick anything that the human eye can see, even if it doesn't look like it. Whereas real life, like you can definitely make colors work with traditional art, limited materials. It's all about experimenting and just getting more things if you need it. But you can definitely do colors in artwork that you couldn't see in real life, and I think that's a thing to take advantage of. So like this color maybe is here, like maybe I have a blue as a light source. Maybe I want to add another blue, even where like on an apple where it wouldn't be blue, you know? It's a lot of things. So here I have basic color palettes, primary colors. These I think look a lot better because it's toned down, like it's just made a little lighter. This yellow I would rather use, like don't use this. Like it says it, always go for the orange. And same with the cyan. Like you can definitely make it work sometimes if using it as an accent. It's like if I have like a black dragon and maybe like I want to add some like maybe he has blue eyes, maybe like a blue stripe. You know, it anyway. So these colors go together, they're analog colors. Maybe an accent which is still like it's a little yellow green, it could work. There's complementary colors, which using this yellow and purple. I think everyone knows not to put like neon complementary colors, and that's when I wanted to make this because I'm like, half the videos out there just common sense. Like, yes, I know not to put bright red next to bright green. Like, it's just, it's not how it works. Like, when you get this muddy, like if you can, there's like a little, I don't know if my art program shows it. I'm going to try and zoom in a little bit. Like oops. There's like this muddy right here. And like you can, it's applicable, so I'll show you later, but it's not, where's my commands here? Okay. It's not the best. Okay, and another genre we like to keep to is if you're going straight down from a color, rarely do that. Like this yellow's the ugliest color to go down from. And even if you're not hue shifting, like this is an orange, you can still like this range right here. Or like if you're on a triangle, it's like this, the side right here is pretty good. Just in general, it's basic color. Like I think you know what to do, what not to do. But we're gonna go into mood today, which I have already prepared because I recorded this. And then I decided to do another one because I messed up. So I guess that's a helpful thing. So first I want to get off with main things to focus on. So I'm going to go into my photo library here and basic colors. So there are of course palettes you find on the internet which can be helpful, but I don't think they can inspire you, but the real thing of colors is just doing what works and what doesn't. So this character, you can see, probably lives in a forest. There's a little bit of red to like bring out his like cheeks. It's like when you wear green and it brings out green eyes. It's the kind of the same thing. It's a little warm. So even if the green doesn't look warm, because green isn't a warm color, you can make it look warm. So for example, this brown's a little warm, it's a little red. There's some red hints, but I'm gonna go into warm colors here. So first thing I'm showing you is the RGB slider, which is helpful in messing around. Like there's a lot of inspiration you can get. Like if I think of this, it's kind of like it's a lot of palettes you see actually is like this could be pumpkin, like if I had a little more, like a less blue, you know. It's hard to understand, but less blue is less orange, means more orange, less green is more red, less red is a little bit more green and blue. So general, but so what color did I end up? Okay, brown. So this is a very neutral brown. And you can make it a little warmer by maybe going here. And I think this is just a little warmer. Like, you know, you can make colors also look warm by placing them next to cooler tinted colors. So like this is a little green, but you know, there's a lot of different things you can do. And like it's like color illusions, you know. So if I place like a light purple, where's my purple? That's just a general, like it's kind of it's an that color. I'd rather go for this if I went for light purple. But you know, and then if I went maybe to red, like it makes it look like it doesn't really fit, but it makes it like it's warm. Maybe if I go to blue, like there's lots. It's like atmospheric too. So, well, actually, first, okay, let's. So another thing, character design is communicating with colors what the character is like. So if I wanted a reserved character, I might go for like a muted purple, maybe muted beige. Or if they were like a little more sinister, maybe more of a dark lavender or some sort of dark brown. But this here is my Fishman. He is a witch doctor, and it's for a D&D character, so I'm like, you don't have to put this much work into D&D, but I did because, you know. And it's very bright colors. Like you can make don't listen to people who are like, you can't use this at all. Like you can. Like that's what makes it fun because you can do whatever the heck you want. Anyway, so he's a very spontaneous dude, and that's why there's these flashes of neon everywhere because like, and that's also neon tetra. I'm like fish, whatever. So a lot of color is just using colors in other places and use like this is blue, maybe pink plus blue is purple. That's why the hair is purple. There's some yellow to bring out the eyes, added to the earrings, and he's kind of like tribal rainforest. So I went with primary colors because I think that kind of goes well with the whole like bright jungle thing. The clothes, of course, are a little more muted, but this is like a purple gray. Like this is cool gray. There's some yellow right here. You know, there's some rainbow in his scales. The masks are completely different because they're masks, but I base them off of like traditional culture. So this is like an African mask, and if you look in, they're very like they're made out of wood, very usually bright red feathers, painted with like white dots. And then like more Japanese mask would be probably a little more toned down, and Oni's have like are blue and red. I didn't want to make it bright blue and red because that's I don't think it works. And there's Tiki, which of course is like based off of Tiki, like Tiki masks. But now so characters can communicate color as well as a piece can. So a piece is like a character, like what kind of mood do I want to give? Like what am I communicating? Like is this a happy scene? Is this like am I in a graveyard? Like is something bad about to happen? It's stuff like that. This is one of my favorite artists who is a Pokemon TCG illustrator. He also has a YouTube, which I can't understand because it's in Japanese, but some things are helpful because it's art. You can look at it and be like, oh, this was a workshop that a university held, and he was one of the teachers, like in the So this is you can't read this obviously, but what this is saying is there's a ratio of color in your piece or your character. So these are our main colors. This girl's a little easier, but so of course your skin is a main color, and so is your dress. Then we have the hair, which is like it's darker, so it catches your eye. It's kind of how like if you can do this if you squint, or like if you take off your glasses if you have them, you can like what's the color that my eye looks to. You usually want to make that the face in humans. It also has to do with composition, which is a whole nother thing. But then there's the accent. This is one there's an article they detailed. I can link it, but basically they said the ratio to accents was off. So this red is an accent color, but there's way too much of it here. So much that you look at the ribbon instead of the girl's face, which you want to look at the girl's face. She's a cute anime girl. So what they did is they changed this to purple because the blue, it works. And with the eyes, there's a little red in here, but not much. So it works more cohesively together. And there's three other examples I have. This is another student's work, so it's basically a coloring page they colored it in. This looks a lot like muddy because the background just blends into the focus, so you're kind of squinting. You're like, where do I look? Where do I look? And then you look at the ribbon, which again is not the girl's face. So what they did is they matched this. The ribbon is blue, but it's purple, so it goes with the red hair. It's a little warmer. Just in general, they made the sunflowers brighter, a little more orange. It's kind of like this. It's like how people say don't use don't use gray on multiply for shading because it just makes things muddy. It's kind of same here. Another example is touch-up work. So this is one of my favorite things I like to do in drawing. So you see this light source. So you can make light sources whatever color you want. This is blue. So the red doesn't do that. I don't think the red goes with really anything. So they made it blue to go with this. I think it works a lot better. The petals are a little more blue, like the line work. The line work does a lot. If you color the line work, that can do wonders. It does not always have to be black. For example, where is he? So Tiki. I made the line work pink of all things, like bright pink on multiply because it goes with the pink in the picture. It doesn't have to be black unless, going for a certain effect. But then this is his work, Naoki Saito, and it's very bright, obviously. So you can make it work, definitely. This is very summery. The blues work together. There's nice texture on the hat. You see the red lines. It's not just black. It's very scenic, flowy, windy. It's another thing, composition. But there's a whole mood you can make. And so that's what I wanted to go into here. Well, first I'll show you some of my work I do. This is Fire Emblem because I am a nerd, but whatever. Around Halloween, so they're not very good, but I wanted to show you that it's very, this. It's kind of an ominous drawing. There's the bat in the background, and there's his glare, but it's also the colors. So this is red, shaded red. There's some, there's black. There's this weird icky green. And this is actually one of my favorite drawings I've ever done. But my boy. Anyway, so this is an example of mood. So it's very light. Maybe it's a little cold out because there's windy, there's leaves in the air. It's a little cloudy, but I think it's it's nice and peaceful. So I use the hair color is actually a highlight on overlay. So you see this that's where the green is from, and it also works because roses are green. So I noticed that. I'm like, oh, if I set this yellow on overlay, it makes green. And so I color picked it. Oh, I can make the petals green. Then make the trees some sort of this green. So it's kind of it's a journey of discovery. It's oh, I found this color. I will use it. I put on an overlay for I put in the yellow, and I'm like, that's a tree color. I can use that. It just looks a little greener because it's on the blue ribbon. I used the red for the blue for the roses, and the ring is a little more blue, and it's the fur is shaded purple, red, and blue. So it's a lot of things, and his eyes. One of eyes, of course, blue. It's all about just using them in different places. So then I wanted to go here. This is the thing that I made. As you can see, it's kind of like a dark demon thing. I don't really know. I just made it, but this is a background. It's very quick, but it doesn't work because it definitely draws your eye like it could. Maybe it's supposed to be out of place, if you're doing like some sort of like funny comic. I've seen people do that. But like, of course you can kind of make it work by putting the blue into the eye, but you know, it's I think this works a lot better. And the purple, so this is a kind of a thing. So maybe you're in a cave. This purple is a little too warm for the piece because you have two different purples here. They don't really go together. So I could make this the same purple as like the rest of it, which I think works a lot better. And then maybe there's like a lighter version of this blue, like right here. It works. I think it works a lot better. Focal point, like they were like the accent in the images I showed you right here. You can, like there's maybe some blue, some flames, adding in on the crystals, a whole nother thing. Like this is more dark and ominous and like mysterious, and maybe if you made the flames red. So go to new layer and make them like, make them a little like it like this is gold. Maybe it's kind of a different feel. It's a little less cold. Maybe it looks like a torch kind of. So you can kind of do, maybe there's some like glimmers. Like it's a lot more fabulous. This is a more fabulous theme, I think. Sorry about that. Anyway. So it's, yeah. And then some color I wanted to go into. One of my favorite artists ever. Like, I'm not kidding. She's so good. Please follow her on stuff. You see this? Like, okay. These images are too big for you to see all of them in their glory. But, I'm going to try and zoom in on you. So, copy image address. This is, so, okay. Of course, there's these accents which draw your eye to this area of the piece, and there's like lanterns. It's very scenic. There are these really beautiful, like very serene, I think, shoes, and even these bright colors. Like it's kind of, I think it's a wonderful dragon and like a field of flowers. And it's like, look at this. So you can definitely draw inspiration from the outside world, but you don't need to be like, this needs to be this color because this is the color it is in real life. If I can bring up, it's gonna take me a second because I am slow because I forgot her name and I feel super bad, but I think anyway, so she's like, if we look up like still life paintings, a life painting, none of this work is mine because this is a Google search. But see, like even in still life, like look at of course this is abstract. I'm trying to find her. Where is she? But like there's it's very vibrant. Like look at this. Like you can do lots of things. Like, and I think with color, holy carp. Okay. Anyway. Or you can make it a little, like this is yellow. This is more yellow. Like there's just two different things. Like I love this art. This art. Where is it? She's so good. I'll find it later. You know what? We'll find it later. But just scrolling through these. I love doing still lifes, honestly, like a painting style. Like, let's look at this. Vincent van Gogh. Sure, we can use his work. Like, it doesn't have, like, this water is tinted, like, pink. Like this, and he's very famous for his self-portrait, which I really love. So, Vincent van, I'm not bothering to spell. Self-portrait. I read it in like a museum thing once, but he uses this red and green to create a sense of like imbalance. That's what it said. Like this like turmoil. So like there's a bunch of different colors in here that shouldn't work, but they do. And like, of course, there's pink, there's green, there's blue, there's purple, there's so many things you can do, even with just your living room. Like, I love this painting style. It's just I really do love it. Anyway, like, look at this. So that's kind of it for today. And all these artists I've shown, they're really good. You should check out their stuff. And it's color's a whole thing. I might do another thing on it, composition, character design, but this is basics. Like, this is what more than other people were like. Just people were like complimentary color. Like, of course I know what looks good. That's kind of all I wanted to show you for today. And sneak peek at my wallpaper. Oopsie. If we can just not, yeah, like it's nice and summery, So that's kind of it. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope this wasn't too long.